This should be the bar for what making family movies in this day and age looks like, right? Because you get away with more now than you would in the 1940s for certain. And if you were trying to portray a love story of some fashion or a romantic element while still having it appropriate for the kiddies, so to speak, take note from how the story is told in Casablanca.
On your point, this is a film that you can watch. You can watch with your family. There's something for adults and the kids. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're younger kids, I will really get into it, especially with today's hyperbolic children's entertainment. That you're dangling keys in front of them for 90 minutes straight. Um, I really would like to see a kid that has watched his maybe from the ages of 2 until 7 has watched all the Minions films and all these crazy I fart joke a minute children's entertainment, and then sit them down and watch Fantasia. I wonder if that. I mean, we wonder why everybody kids are suffering from ADD.
Are you nostalgia shaming again?
Slightly. I'm just going off on a little bit of a tangent, but because you mentioned family film, I never really thought of Casablanca as a family film. But I see what you're saying, though. Yeah. I see what you're saying as far as
the bar should be set there
yeah.
on how to do certain things inside a family film production. That's what I mean to say.
Because there's intelligence and honesty and truthfulness and consequence to
a lot of stuff you don't have in movies and in media today. I mean, what?
Because everybody wants to be, spoon fed. Anything that, I think to a degree, people have a bit of a fear when it comes to something that's not direct. I think that's one of the reasons you don't get as much of that clever innuendo without the follow-up wink or the follow-up explanation. I think that's a big problem with comedies nowadays. So I saw The House recently, which I probably could, to this date, I consider the worst movie I've seen, at least that I've reviewed. At least that I've reviewed this year. And it had the same thing. You'd have a joke. The joke might be decent, and then you follow it up with an explanation of what the goddamn joke was about. That's not funny. And the explanation is intended to be funny. Oh, you see, I said that because I'm this and that, and you're like what?
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, I mean that could be done well sometimes. Yeah, but I don't know if that's partly because there isn't a confidence in the setup of the joke or the punchline. But I think that might be part of it. Yeah, I think that people want something direct, and if there is something they want to think about, it has to be something applied to the overall mystery of the plot, rather than any clever witty lines. And then of course you also have to consider the foreign market, where such dialogue cannot be translated as easily.
So what I'm going to call this, if it makes the cutting room floor, what I think the title should be is Demos's Loss of Faith in Humanity in Comedy.
Well, I mean, this isn't just comedy. I'm actually applying it to everything. I've been using a comedy as an example because it is the most blatant example.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot more naked in that setting, yes.
I wish you would see more of that, but nowadays you see some boobs and it's a rated R.
As I ironically talk about something being naked. Okay, moving on.
You see, that was funny because Kyle just explained that he said something that was naked. And, well, nudity implies no clothing, and no clothing.
Explaining my explanation of your joke. This is so goddamn meta.
And now you explain the whole context of the entire...
Whoa, I totally did.
Yeah, exactly. Can you be meta when you're being meta? Is that the uber mega?
Is that like meta squared? What? Somebody Comment and tell us what meta in meta. That's like it's a fourth wall break inside of a fourth wall break.
We see. Luckily, we'll have somebody here who can explain our jokes to us.
That's why we had Big TJ on. I just okay.
See, that's somewhere somebody who's really high on drugs is watching this and his mind is freaking exploding. It's like, whoa!
By default, they're blowing my mind.
They just went uber meta.